Democrats are back at it again with posting cringe videos on social media in an effort to blame the government shutdown on Republicans. Let's take a look at Adam Schiff. Let's take a look.
So is the government shutting down? Well, that depends on Donald Trump and the Republicans. They control the White House, they control the House, they control the Senate. It's really up to them. Now, the risk increased greatly when Republicans decided to send a partisan continuing resolution to the Senate that lacked any Democratic support. So what is a continuing resolution, or CR? Let me try to explain. So government funding runs out on Friday at midnight, and in a normal world, what would happen is Democrats and Republicans would pass what's called a clean continuing resolution, a clean CR. That would essentially put the government on autopilot with all of the same funding levels that we had for the last several months, for the next several months, until something can be worked out. But that's not what happened here. Here, Republicans passed a partisan resolution that changed all kinds of funding levels and also stripped Congress of the ability to overturn the Trump tariffs that are wrecking our economy.
Now, clearly we know the Democrats are trying to do something different here. The problem is it lacks authenticity. That's number one. Number two, they're still spewing the same lies. Now, he was correct in something that he said, which is in this CR, there is a clause that prevents Congress from canceling or repealing tariffs that President Trump places on other countries. And quite frankly, it should be in there. Why would Congress stop the president from implementing tariffs? I don't get it. Whether you like them or you don't like them, the Congress shouldn't be controlling what the president can do in that regard.
And it gives Donald Trump 6 months to continue wrecking the government, continue cutting off funding, continue closing Social Security offices, continuing layoff of veterans and the layoff of firefighters. Essentially gives him another half year to continue all the destructive actions he's taking now. That's not going to fly.
Not only is it the cringe videos, once again, it's also their social media posts. Check this out. It happened again. The people behind Democrats in Congress sent the script to every member, and they are now posting the exact same thing in unison. You'll remember that a bunch of Democrat senators posted videos before Trump's congressional address with the same script. Now, on the spending bill that's heading towards possible shutdown, they did it again. And let me just show you here. Literally someone counted it and it was 49 Democrats verbatim, same post, which is why Elon Musk said exactly what I was thinking. That's all we're asking. Can they please try harder with their propaganda? He was responding to a post that says, I'm begging the left to discover the thesaurus. And here's the individual that said that they counted 49 Democrat Congress members. 49. Do none of them think for themselves? Do none of them care to use their brains other than to spout the same talking points they're given? Do none of them actually give a crap about representing their constituents? This is leftism for you. Absolutely no bit of critical thinking, repeated talking points, and it's almost zombie-like. This is from leftism. And just to pile on, because I know you enjoy us showing you the continued implosion of the Democratic Party, Fox News interviewed younger men on the streets and asked them what they thought about the Democrats.
When I say the word Democrat, you think what?
Loser. Transgenderism.
Liberal.
Stock trading.
They have strange thoughts. I don't understand them.
Crybaby. Musk hater. Suddenly. More social programs and entitlements.
Socialist.
Evil.
And let's just take a moment here. If you're getting value from this video and overall from our channel, do us a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. You could go to the links in the description below, shop our merch store, or you could buy us a cup of coffee. And they've done it to themselves, okay? The American people see right through the Democratic Party at this point in time because they've yet to offer up anyone who's authentic. You may hate President Trump. You may hate his personality. You may think he's not a nice person or he's corrupt or evil, but what you can't say is he is not authentic. He's absolutely one of the most authentic people you'll ever come across in politics. There's no question. He's the same guy in every room that he walks in. But hey, this is coming from a person on the right. Let's hear from someone on the left what they think about what Democrats should be doing.
What we've been seeing from them, it doesn't resonate. It's not working any longer. We're not falling for the okie doke. We're not buying what they're selling. And at the end of the day, they've got to stand up, step up, and show that they're ready to do the job that folks sent them to the nation's capital to do. And that's work with whatever administration is in office. I know they don't like the fact that Donald Trump is in office, but the 47th president of the United States of America, his name is Donald Trump. And as you have told me on many occasions, if nothing else, the man is all about making deals. Find deals that he's willing to make and make it happen.
Do you want to admit that I was right?
And that's the bottom line. They should figure it out. And what's fascinating is they're too emotional to accept the reality that President Trump is a deal maker. He's more likely to work with any Democrat if they're trying to make a deal instead of trying to play politics and clearly make him look bad in front of the American people. And that's why I don't think they will make a deal, because they're just in the habit of doing just that to President Trump, because over the past decade, that's all they've done. And it doesn't help when you continue to see the Democrats that the American people have rejected go onto the news and say this.
What are you going for here with the I'm worried that Trump has syphilis?
Well, okay. First of all, there's something wrong with him. That's pretty clear. That meeting in the Oval Office was a significant deterioration. Secondly, we do know that he did have red splotches on his hand, which, it could be an indication of syphilis. But the other thing that we know that we didn't talk about, on January the 17th, 2017, Keith Schiller and two other goons broke into his doctor's office, Dr. Bornstein, and confiscated his health records. We have never seen them. We don't know what's in it. So if I take, of course, I'm speculating.
Yes.
But if he had an enlarged prostate or had a precancerous skin lesion, you wouldn't steal your medical records, would you? You wouldn't break into your internist and send people to confiscate your medical records. So unlike people who say, well, I'm just asking questions.
No, you're not.
Well, of course I am. There's some deterioration in him.
I mean, listen, James Carville, please keep speaking for Democrats. We love it when you do, because when you start speaking in that way, nobody's listening. I'm only showing the clip to prove my point here, but nobody's listening to that. The average American could care less what you have to say when you speak that way. And it's not just those inflammatory comments, which really nobody relates to. It's also the same old talking points that they keep pushing every time it comes to a funding bill. Watch.
But what I can tell you is that the CR that's been put forward is not bipartisan. They have not accepted input from the Democrats, no. And we want something that is truly bipartisan and allows us, again, to ensure that we are not handing over the government to these billionaires. All of this is about tax cuts for billionaires. None of it anticipates anything for average, hardworking, middle-class families. In fact, as I've mentioned, it harms us in every possible way. We've seen the witch hunt against federal employees. We've seen already the concerns around cutting veterans benefits, Medicaid for sick children. It's horrendous, and we do not support it.
Yeah, so my only question to the Congresswoman, did she forget what happened over the last 4 years? Right? The border crisis, the wars that broke out, the 13 service members that lost their life, the censorship on social media, the COVID vaccine mess where people were kicked out of the military, lost their jobs over it. Some children were forced to actually get the vax. Schools were shut down. I mean, we can go on and on and on, but they have amnesia when it comes to that stuff. When it's their party, they could do no wrong. But when it's Republicans, Trump is all bad. Yeah, see, that's why nobody relates to it, because it's just too extreme. They claim that Republicans are going to gut all of the benefits in order to give tax cuts to billionaires. Nobody's buying that, all right? Now, here's Tim Walz, who says out loud that none of this would be happening if they had won the election.
I think Americans have had it. I hope they've had it. And now we just need to do what we can do to make the case. And I own this. We wouldn't be in this mess if we'd have won the election. And we didn't. We have to make sure that Americans know it's not just that Donald Trump is bad, but we're offering them something better. And I think that's what we need to work on.
I actually believe what they should be working on is their credibility, because every time there's a chance for them to prove to the American people that they're serious about doing the work that the American people want them to do, you know what happens? They fail. And I'm going to show you an example of that. 127 Democrats just voted no to extend the statute of limitations in order to prosecute people who committed fraud during COVID. Watch.
You'd think there would be no opposition to extending the statute of limitations to go after COVID fraudsters and recover taxpayer money, but that wasn't the case when 127 Democrats, including Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi, voted against a one-page bill giving the DOJ 5 more years to pursue pandemic fraud, and it left Republicans dumbfounded.
It's unconscionable to me that our colleagues on the other side are actually continuing to fight to protect fraudsters.
This is the GAO estimates up to 15% of pandemic benefits were fraudulent, totaling up to $235 billion. The bill ultimately passed as those who voted against it sought to explain their vote.
Today's Republican bill is so hypocritical. It completely ignores President Trump's illegal termination of the nonpartisan inspector general responsible for that very work.
And get this, Brian, just last week, a California Highway Patrol dispatcher and her felon husband were charged with bilking more than $3 million in COVID benefits using the identities of children and prison inmates.
Nobody is surprised that Democrats are trying to defend fraud because we just saw how they reacted to USAID, where we know their spouses, family, friends, associates, business partners were on these boards of these NGOs getting paid tons of money, right? All in the name of delivering aid to the world, which we all know is a bunch of bull. Now, there's a certain percentage of it that is legit. Okay, that's why Secretary of State Rubio came out and said, hey, 82% of this is gone, and we're going to keep the remaining amount. But overall, Democrats, they just continue to prove that they're not interested in rooting out fraud. And they're definitely not interested in working with Republicans, which is why Congressman Mullen went on to CNN last night and told Caitlin Collins what the truth is. Watch.
Isn't this the same CR, the same spending levels that you voted for in September, the same spending levels that you voted for in December? So what has changed? What's changed is you have President Trump in office rather than President Biden in office. Because there's no other argument you can have here. They weren't willing to shut it down. They were okay with these numbers two other times, but this is in 2024. Now that Trump's in office, it's their hatred towards Trump that they're willing to shut down the government for. It's absurd. Why wouldn't they support the policies, the numbers that they voted for underneath Biden?
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, really sums up what's been happening this entire week. Democrats are acting like this CR wasn't something that they voted for the last 2 times last year. And they said that if the government was to shut down, all hell would break loose. Now what they're saying is if we pass this CR, all hell would break loose. And what really is the difference? Trump is the president. Which leads me to the question of this video. What's your reaction to Adam Schiff's cringe video that he uploaded, including the 49 Democrats who have copied and pasted the same message? I mean, guys, I find this to be entertaining. I really do, because this continues to confirm that they're lost. And as long as they're lost, that means they don't have the ability to destroy this country, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are about all that in the comment section below. Now, it's clear that Democrats want to shut down the government, but not all of them, because Senator John Fetterman went off script yesterday and refused to accept that idea. He doesn't want the government to shut down, and he's using logic for a change. If you guys missed out on that drama and more stories from yesterday, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.